Hey y'all, it's Graham again. I know I said I wouldn't be making another video for a couple of days because I was going out of town, but well, it's two things. Number one, I watched my video back, or part of it, from yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, my voice has changed, and it's really kind of freaky, and I think that I don't know. My brain is really not comprehending this, so maybe talking about it and doing the video is kind of helpful because it's never sounded like this before, which is just really kind of cool and freaky all at one time. Um, so yeah, it's really weird. Like when I talk, what happens is like I can feel my vocal cords like vibrating, and it's very strange in like a good kind of way. And I mean, I'm sure I'll get used to that. But I'm just thinking, it's dropped a whole hell of a lot like in the last week, and where is it gonna go? So, I think this is going to be very interesting. I never had a very high voice at all, but yeah, I think I'm just starting to see right now what is kind of possible here. So, we'll see what happens. Um, so yeah, I wanted to make just another video just to talk about how kind of, I don't know, just unbelieving I am that I'm actually sounding like this, which is kind of cool. The other thing isn't quite as happy. I mean, it's not sad, it's just angsty. Like I said, my mom's coming in for a visit, and I'm trying to figure out in my head, how I'm going to tell her all of this stuff. Um, I really don't know how to do that. And like when I say like, how am I going to tell her all this? Like, I'm thinking like, how am I going to say it? You know? And I don't want to have everything like all like memorized and planned out so it's all like canned or whatever. I want it to be real and whatever it is, like in the moment. But at the same time, I want to kind of have a plan, um, so at least I'm not all like stumbly or whatever. Um, and I don't even know how to say this. Like, like I was even thinking, maybe I should just send her an email or something and just tell her, because that way she'll know before she gets here and it's just out. But that doesn't seem right. The whole point, besides getting to visit with her, is to be able to talk to her in person and have her go through this. And, yeah. So I don't know. And like, when's the right time to tell her? When I talked to her on the phone yesterday, she didn't say anything about my voice, but I mean, I can't imagine she wouldn't notice. But certainly when she gets me here in person, she's going to be like, this is a lot different. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I think that maybe the best thing for me to do is just as soon as she gets here Wednesday and do it Wednesday night and just say, I don't know if you noticed, but, there's some things that are changing, and the reason is because I've been taking testosterone, and it's something that I've thought about doing for a long time, and I just don't feel comfortable, and I can't live as a woman anymore, right? Something. I don't know. I'm just freaking out and trying to figure out what kind of words am I going to use to express this to her. So, I don't know. If anybody out there has done it already, or if they, had ideas of how they would do it, it would be cool if you would, send a message or something, or maybe give me some ideas. The other thing is, I'm all about like reading and resources, and I was thinking about that, and I wish I had stuff to give her. Like, I wish I had books or something that she could read or, learn. But I have a lot of books on the topic, but I think I perceive them as more to be written for guys who are transitioning. Um, Not really like from a parent's perspective. And I mean, the parent books that I have seen, they're more for like parents with little kids. They have a 5-year-old or something that is, already starting to identify as a different gender. So it's not really what I'm looking for. Or if there's anything out there that's like written by someone who was older and had a child who transitioned as an adult, I think that would be interesting for her, but I just haven't found it. The other thing I thought about is, should I show her like the Body Alchemy book by Lauren Cameron, the black and white photos? I mean, I think a big part for me is I want her to see that just by doing this doesn't mean that I won't pass or be successful or, I'm not going to look like a freak or whatever, you know. And I thought maybe the images would be helpful just because, can show what people can do. But in a way, maybe that's too much, thinking that, all the guys in that book really, they passed so well, and maybe that's just would be hard for her to digest at this point. So if anybody has any suggestions out there on reading material or even websites or just anything that might be helpful for my mom, that would be cool, because, I think all the stuff I have was helpful for me, and I don't know if it would be helpful for her exactly. So yeah, I've just been thinking about this an awful lot, and I don't know. I mean, I have this really bad game I do with myself, the what if game, and what if she reacts like this or like this or like this, and it's just kind of crazy making because I'll never know the exact way she's going to react. All I can do is put it out there and kind of follow the course of it and see what happens. But I worry because I don't know. I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to scare her. I don't want to make her sad. But at the same time, I think that if she knew how I was feeling inside about, being female and how it's never really worked for me, and it's been something that I'm sure that everyone who's watching this, if you're trans, I relate to the fact that it's like you're always fighting, with yourself. And for years, I just have done that. And I'm just, it has to stop. And, you know, transitioning has been the best thing. I've been so happy since I started T, and it's one of those things that I've thought about for a really long time. It wasn't a quick decision, And I mean, I'm 35, and the first time I thought about doing this, I was like in my 20s. So I certainly, took my time in it and didn't make any rash decisions, and also chose to do it at a time in my life when I was kind of sufficient for myself. I guess that's redundant, but anyway, I could take care of myself, and I didn't need someone else or wasn't dependent on someone else, for financial or emotional support. So I don't know. I think I timed it as good as I possibly could, but I don't know that it's ever a great time to sit down with your mom and be like, so. But on that same note, I think I would be really surprised if she hadn't thought about it, because I mean, ever since I've been a little kid, it's just been a constant struggle. I mean, I can remember being a little kid and fighting about, having to wear a dress to church or something, or like there was this one time that my mom talks about, like she had me at church, and I don't know, she had me in some little, dress or whatever, and I came home and I was like, can I put on my real clothes now? And it's just always been a fight, and so I mean, she's much better about it now and has been for the last few years, but I don't know how this is going to be. I just hope that I'm doing the right thing by taking her away from the weekend, and at least this way it'll just be the two of us. And if it's hard, it's hard, and we've got a place to talk about it and work it out. And, she doesn't have to go through all this with a bunch of other people around. I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, this isn't the most upbeat video I've made, that's for certain. But it's stuff that I'm thinking about. So I just thought I'd put it out there. And, I think in a way it's helpful for me to make these videos, because in a way maybe it gets stuff out that's in my head, and hopefully maybe by making the videos it helps other people and helps them think about things, or at least maybe it shows them that they're not alone and they're not the only people, only person, going through stuff like this. So, all right, thanks for watching, and thanks for all your comments, and have a good night.